this is a sport where it takes time. Some people can hit out of the ballpark, as you know, in the baseball
Yeah.
term, the first time, and some people it takes time. I was honestly, I was at Tampa that year. My friends, Jolene and Eunice, they run Bad Rap. They were there. Eunice competed at the show. Jolene was there. I was helping out with the booth. That's one of the ladies who competed at the show. She did the overall women's
Oh,
bodybuilding, and she got a pro card at North American to Keo. And it was a great opportunity to be there. I might have maybe saw you if I
I
don't know if
bet.
you saw me,
And
because
you look, whenever I seen the interview with you and Terry, I was like, I've seen him. I know, like, somewhere. And I bet it was Tampa because we usually go every year to Tampa because he enjoys doing that show. I love Tim Gardner's shows; they're awesome.
yeah,
Uh,
that was me. I was hugging up on Ashley Jones like a big old
yes,
bear. I got to meet Sharonica Hinton at the show. She's an amazing lady. She follows on social media.
yes,
Also, the highlight for me, you know, being a poor country boy and never, I've been to Florida, a couple of times at Disney World, consistently. But when I got to meet, he was there because he was there for the show. But I got to meet this gentleman here, David Lee Roth. He came by our booth, and I mean, it was
wow,
wow. I mean, it was,
that
just unbelievable. I would never met that man in my life, sitting here at home. But it was a great opportunity to go there, help my friend, and to check out the show. So, one thing about being in the sport, what really attracts you? Like, what made you maybe decide to jump into it? Like, not just for your boyfriend, was it for yourself also?
yes. I love, like, to me, for a woman, like, I think muscle on a woman is so sexy. And, I'm thinking, I mean, you're in a dress, muscle just makes everything look better, So um, I just love the aesthetic part of it, just like I said, just the definition, the muscle definition, um, just feeling like, you know, powerful too. When I always say this too, when you're close to a show and you're like in the best shape of your life, it's like you just feel like on top of the world, like, Wonder Woman. So, um, I actually followed, like growing up, the Corey Everson days, which I loved her physique because we're about the same height. And she was like 160 on stage. And that was that, I guess back in the 80s, was it? Or
80s,
in
complete
there?
80s, yeah, because that's where she competed from the mid 80s up to the almost to 90.
Yeah. I love her physique, kind of watched, um, just, scrolled over some videos of her competing and is very inspirational too. Um, it's come a long way, hasn't it? Like a lot of things have changed. But yeah, and then Iris Kyle, when she was competing, um, there's a lot of women that I used to follow that just kind of inspired me too, to get into the sport.
Mhm. Yeah, that's amazing, ladies. Iris Kyle, Linda Murray, Corey
Yes,
Everson.
there's
One lady
so
who
many great ones.
yeah, one lady I got to meet a few years ago while I was in Savannah. That was my first Bobby show. Was Anita Popa. She had a beautiful physique, a great look to her. She's been a
Mhm.
Rising Phoenix champion. She's been close to the Miss Olympia title, but that
Yes.
old saying, hit or miss. No, But yeah, I think really something different if you look at it, especially like we're from the South, and the
Oh, yeah.
idea of women with muscles very not as
Accepted.
acceptable
Yes.
compared to other places, but still, it is something beautiful about it because it's like a form of art when you take your body and you're your own artist. You're either
Hmm.
using paint brushes and paints, or you're using a chisel and a hammer. Building out granite. It just can be a beautiful thing. We got here some guests here. Shout to my man Black Panther. He says this. He says, "Hi George. This is Black Panther, aka Ted." Or how he says it, Ted a link. He says. Also, I got to put on my glasses every now and then. Also, he says this. He says, "Beautiful smile, Miss Hollie." And also, he says this. He says, "Miss Hollie, where are you originally from?"
So I am a Southern girl. I am from Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
Sweet home Alabama. I got here a southern lady here, folks.
Yes, very. I grew up, small town, very country. Um, I love it. I wouldn't change anything about it. So, yeah.
Yeah. I grew up in a very small town. We one of those towns when you have one stoplight, and there's like maybe a couple of gas stations. We do have a Family Dollar and a Dollar General, but if you want to go
Yes.
someplace like outside, you have to go the next town over. We lived out in the country for a long time, so we
Right.
moved into town. So anyway, for yourself, what's the experience like? As you said earlier, the sport has changed. Because I remember if you go back to the Corey Eversons and Linda Murray, it has evolved. And you say you follow some of the ladies. Who in particular, other than currently we pay attention to, especially in your division?
So I love Missy Trescott. She was actually someone I had been following before I started competing. And it's funny because I have several people that tell me that we kind of favor a little bit. And I'm like, that's a huge compliment to me because she's amazing. But I would say like her, I follow her. And there's a girl that I've actually been following. She turned pro at USA. She's a women's bodybuilder. And I love it because these ladies are so feminine too, that they keep their they're real feminine and they have muscle and it's just very pleasing to look at.
Rania.
Yes, love her physique.
She's going back to Tampa.
Yes, so we'll see her at Tampa. She was there, I think, last year. She
Hmm.
competed right after USA's. So I'm excited to see her. I love her physique, and like I said, they keep the feminine side too. It's really amazing how it's like I said, it's real pleasant to look at.
Yeah. I would say there's some amazing ladies in sport who I follow. Particularly one's my very favorite. That is, I call her. She's my
Yes,
girlfriend, and that is Andrea
I
Shaw.
love her too. I love her.
I mean, she just
She's
beautiful from
beautiful.
just. I mean, I actually when I went to my first show in Savannah back in 2022. She was there guest posing, and I got a friend. His name is Big Keith Williams. He knows your coach, Jumbo Palumbo. Back in the day, used to work together. Yeah, I know Dave's nickname, and he told me she was competing. She was just doing guest posing at Savannah, and even though she wasn't as conditioned she was still looking good. And George said, he told me that George, when Andrea's on, she's on. It was just barely maybe 3 weeks before the Rising Phoenix. And when she came in, that show, she looked amazing. I want to say this. I want to always give a shout out to my dear friend, JoJo and Eunice at Bad Rap. And always want to shout out to Eunice because a while back, this was like about a couple of years ago. It was just a little bit after my birthday. And I get a call from you. Said, George, I'm seeing something in the mail. I said, what you sending me? He said, you see it. I said, what is it? And it's this. It's your muscle
Wow,
development. Yeah.
that's
And
awesome.
what? Because she ran into Andrea that year when we were still in Orlando. And
Yes,
what makes so special is this that she signed it.
she's awesome. I
Yeah.
love her and Sid Gillian. That's another
Yeah.
girl I love. They're Southern from well, Sid. I think it's Andrea
She's
from.
from Georgia,
Yes, yes.
and Andrea's from Michigan.
Okay, okay. I was thinking she was also from Georgia, but
Nah, she's from
um,
Michigan.
we ran into them in Ohio. We were going to a restaurant. Went to the Arnold, and it was her and Sid, and she is just. I mean, she's really a great ambassador for the sport. Like just amazing. Awesome personality, sweet as pie, like she's great, beautiful. Yeah, there they are.
Yeah, yeah.
They have a
They
show
both
together.
party.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing is, it goes back to that. Women with muscle can be beautiful. Yes, they're gonna be a few here and there that might look a little bit on the rough, but they're still beautiful in their own right. So
Right.
So now, when did you and Gator meet? And how did the business start up?
Well, he actually has a car business and he's been in the car business for I mean, probably close to 30 years, 20 something years. But his car business is in Madison, Alabama. And then the gym, is we opened that one back in 2017. It was the Sheffield location before we end up selling that location and just having Florence. So I actually worked for him at the gym. That's how we met. So, and he's into fitness, and so like that's a huge part of his life. So I would say we've been together almost 7 years. It's been crazy. Time flies. But yeah, I would say we met through fitness. But like I said, he's got a car business that's full time, and then we had two gyms at one time. So we were just he works all the time. Me too, though. We stay really busy, and you have multiple businesses, and now taking on the NPC Alabama Open Championships that we're promoting. August 22nd. It's at the Westin in Huntsville, Alabama. So now that's another adventure too. So yeah, it's busy, busy. Fitness is a huge part of both of our lives. Like it's just, yeah, when you have a gym, especially, like you're always into fitness. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a reward you get out of it. You met your man, the man of your
yep.
life, and you also found a new passion through fitness, and also now you are officially the IFBB pro. I mean, I've known quite a few couples in this sport. I've interviewed them, and they really love what they do because people outside look at bodybuilding. It's this very strange sport. It's
Mhm.
very a fringe sport. It's not as popular. Like I saw one guy posted where he talked about how, I think they're adding men's bodybuilding to the Tampa Bay this year, and talked about the prices between first place for men between cornhole,
Mhm.
and it's crazy where you can throw a beanbag to a hole and get $10,000. Where these guys are training, working out, competing, all involved with it. But I think the
Right.
problem is because it's such an outside sport, and always the issue about it is because they use the performance enhancers, be it steroids, be it pads. People always look about it because that's just it. Like you just take
Yeah.
some magic pill and you can be as like I get as big as Arnold or as big as a Lou Ferrigno, and but it's more to that. It's
Absolutely. And I think that can give it a bad rap too. Like, you know, I think the performance enhancement drugs, that part of it, like for bodybuilding, I think people would just think, like you said, you take a magic pill and you're, walking around with tons of muscle and, shredded to the bone. But, you still have to eat your meals and you still have to train and do your cardio, so um yeah, I wish it wouldn't get that kind of rap sometimes, but it does, like especially if you're from the South, like we were talking about earlier. A lot of people don't accept it, or it's hard for them to accept it. You know, you go to the grocery store, you don't really see. It's not common to see a lot of muscular women. So if you have muscle, they'll stare at you like you're crazy or for an alien from another planet. So, you know,
Yes. The thing about sport is it's learning to be comfortable with being uncomfortable because the extreme of it. But again, it goes back to if you don't follow the diet, you don't consistent, if you're not determined, if you're not disciplined, you can take
hmm
all the shit you can take, but you're not gonna look like some of the ladies in the sport, some of the men in the sport. You can just be a big fat dumpy, men like me and just be on peds. So we have a comment. Shout out to my man, Black Panther. He says this. Give me a second. It says, Miss Holly, you are the greatest figure champion. Wow.
oh, thank
Also, we got
you.
here to sip these on because for my man here, Paul. Has he well, Paul? He says, congratulations on your getting your pro card and going to be great. And
Thank
also, shout out to my man. He says, beautiful picture of you and Ashley Lynette Jones. And Ashley Lynette Jones is the greatest. Yeah, I'm a fan of Ashley. She even shouted me out right after she got her second place at the Olympics. Shout out to my little nephew Alex. Well, I met him at Tampa. He's a nice kid. He went to Olympia. He ran into Ashley, and she shot me out. I appreciate that. So, there was quite a few shows for a possibility qualification. Why did you do
hmm
nationals? Because of proximity, or you felt like you had a better chance than going to maybe like this weekend? Our friend is going to Pittsburgh.
So for me, is that you're asking?
Hmm.
Okay, so this is crazy. So originally we had planned to do USA's, which is next weekend in Vegas. And, my body just started responding, and we were close to contests. Like, I mean, maybe two pounds off. You know, being another, you got to think USA's is 5 weeks after junior nat. So for me to hold that condition, Dave was like, "Let's just go to junior nats. You're ready." Like, and more opportunity. If you don't get a pro card there, we can, obviously have collegiate, USA's. And it was hard for me because I've always like I had this like goal. I wanted to turn pro at USA's or nationals in December because those are usually the bigger shows, right? And but Chattanooga is like an hour 30 minutes from our house, so it's Dave was like, you can drive there; it'd be cheaper, and they give a pro card for each class winner, so you might as well take advantage of it. And like I said, my body it responded so well. We had a really good off season. I tried to stay, you know, tight. I didn't let myself get just plumb out of shape. And I think my body just really responded whenever we started implementing cardio and everything in the diet, like as far as like carb cycling and stuff. It just yeah, we were ready super early, 5 weeks early. So we just went to junior nats and it worked out, you know. So yeah, I would be competing next weekend originally. So, yeah.
Well, I think it's smart because you know what? You want to take advantage of the situation, especially if you are at the point where I'm peaking. And you don't want to waste it. Say, you know what? Might waste it if I wait all the way till the end of July and go all the way to fly all the way to Nevada, and
Yeah.
then you come up short. Where
Right.
okay, it's a place just down the road. And, it's in the country term, down the road for us is just like next door. Before,
Hmm.
but that's how it is. And you took advantage of that situation, and that's a smart strategy. I think that's one thing I think you need to do in the sport is to be strategic, figure out the best time, what should work for you. And you took that whole year off after you got your regional qualification in Tampa.
Yes.
So I think it was just about timing and
Hmm.
again about proximity. So what was that feeling like when they told you you are now an IFBB pro?
Well, it's like it's kind of surreal, I guess, at the moment because you work really hard, to accomplish that. It's a really big accomplishment. Like I had to think on it for a minute because it's still surreal a little bit, but um, I was like super excited, seeing and just the moment of just like feeling like everything finally, you know, came together for me. Like all the years, like I know turning pro with your fourth show is still, you're still very fairly new at the sport, but not a lot of shows. But I did take a lot of time, to grow. Like I would do diet, I would diet, and then I would like diet breaks. I would go into a surplus because, like I said, I'm 5'8". I have, a really big frame to fill out. So it's going to take, for me, the density, the muscle density on my frame, just I need more years under my belt, and it like, you look at some of these, a lot of the pros, they're very seasoned. They've been competing for years, 10 plus years, you know? So this is definitely like timing. Um, and it's a sport that you have to have patience, but no, yeah, like it was amazing feeling, but now you're like, okay, so here we are, we're starting over now because now we're in a big pond, a little fish in a big pond. So yeah.
Yeah, I think once you come from the NPC, you got to start over in the IFBB. It takes time, and yeah, it's true.
it,
I think some people say this is how somebody told me. Bodybuilding is not like a race; it's a marathon. You want
yep.
to take time to grow, time to develop. If you do things quick, fast, in a hurry, you get burnt out.
Yes.
You might not come in the best shape. You might do something wrong. Things happen in life, and it's best to take your time. Shout out to my man, Black Panther sticking in here. He says, Miss Hollie, ignore the haters of your lifestyle. Always be yourself. Also, he says this. He says, women's bodybuilding and women's physique are the greatest in Alabama, USA. Can't forget figure. And this is the last one I'm giving him. He says, George, congratulations on your 6K YouTube subscribers. You are the greatest. Stay strong, and God bless. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Yeah,
So,
congratulations. That's awesome.
yeah, it takes some time. I started this about a little 7 years ago. I had a YouTube channel before, but then it got taken down for some certain reasons. Then I started this a little bit later because I was taking care of my mom for a long time. And, it's, you ever know somebody who has a sick family member, it can be, you got to find something that's an outlet. And I knew this gentleman, his name is Coach Sharon Harrison. He does content on combat sports, women in MMA. And he told me, do something that you like. I said, well, I'm a fan of women bodybuilding because you ladies, I got to admit my crime, Miss Holly Joe. I am a muscle person. Oh, y'all ladies excite me. Something about y'all, it just brings out the other side of me. I see he creeps out here, but every now he pops in. And
Yeah.
just in interview with you ladies and doing this content, it gives me a purpose and a passion. So, folks, while we got Holly here, we're going to do this. We'll jump to her social media for a bit. If you want to follow her link's in the description. You want to reach out to her and support her and say congratulations. And also, good if, sponsorship does help because, it's a cost to be a bodybuilder. And if you're interested and you have a plan, you have a company, if you're somebody looking for athletes to sponsor, check her out. But guys out there, and I know who you are because I'm like you. I love these muscle women. They get me excited. But don't be weird. She has a boyfriend named Gator. He might do some
Gator.
stuff. He's
We're Southern.
yeah, we do something down here. We do something. We got to do something. We do it.
You would love him. I hope you get to meet him. Are you going to be at Tampa this year?
No, no. Like I said, I'm gonna make my announcement what show I'm gonna do. Not Tampa this year. Maybe a couple of years. Like I said, I'm picking shows
Yeah.
here and there.
Yeah.
But this one, I'm going someplace else, and this is an opportunity I want to take a chance at. So, folks who want to follow her, check her out. Follow the links in the description of this live. So we jump into her IG for a bit, and here she is, right here doing some training. Like, what's the thing that you love about your training? The thing you just say, oh shit, I don't want to do it today.
So I'll tell you this. I absolutely love training. That's something, if I didn't compete, I would always train. So you can see in the hashtag Road to USA's. So that was originally the plan. But it's when I go into the gym and I work out, and I know like we own a gym, so you have to really balance that. And people ask me to, and I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but if you don't balance it, because when you work in a gym, and you can get burned out because you're always in gym, then you got to train, and the last thing you want to do after you've been working is to go home, not have to train, right? So I've learned to balance that, and I love training. It's a big part of my life. Like I said, if I didn't compete, I would always train. Just getting in there and just lifting some heavy ass weight. And for the mental therapy, just the grind, like I enjoy it. Like Terry and I'm telling you, we would get in there and we get after it. And we also have a lady that is a IFBB pro, Kenya. She's a member at our gym, and she just got second at the Body B1 Classic in Montgomery, almost qualifying for the Masters Olympia. So we have a lot of great competitors at Gator Fitness, and everybody is so inspiring. Like I look up to her, I look up to Terry, I look up to the ladies that helped me become a better me, a version of me. And there's Liz. She is also going to the Olympia in Fit Model. So
Oh,
she won Toronto Pro. Yeah, so she's from Huntsville, Alabama. So she's going to be going to the Olympia. So all these ladies just inspire me to be a better me.
well, here you are with you
For a
and Gator.
record-breaking year, a
Yep.
record-breaking month. What
Here
a
we are.
awesome
That's
members
at the
that we have
gym.
here at Gator Fitness. Unbelievable how great the members are. Appreciate your business. I've got a lot of great things happening in 2026 for the members.
After having a fantastic year at Gator Fitness, we want to give away a 1-year free membership at Gator. So make sure to follow our page, like, share, and tag a buddy to win a free year. Happy New Year from Gator Fitness.
Well, that's nice. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
You would love our
and
gym. There's this at Tampa last year, or no, I'm sorry. 2 years. Gator usually, he's actually the pro masters bodybuilder. The masters 60 and the 55, he's won it 2 years. And he also got sixth in the 40s.
Yeah.
So and so he's a go-getter. He loves it. It's amazing. He inspires me. So,
That's good that both have inspiration, inspired to do your best. Here's some pictures here, guys, because I know what you guys want to see. Oh yeah, the bourgeois stuff.
I know that was back after Nationals 2022.
All
You
right.
look back at those pictures and it's like amazing seeing how far you've came from there, like.
Yeah, it's evolution of every athlete, and you took some pictures with Sean Nelson. Sean, I've had a guest on my channel. He's a great guy. He's
You
supposed to
love
be,
Sean.
yeah, he's supposed to be up there because I figured he's supposed to be working Miami and maybe doing Tampa as part of his itinerary. And here
Yes.
is this was you doing
My
figure
first show.
where it looks more like bikini.
I know it. I know. That was back in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, like I said again, the sport has evolved over time. Women have evolved, and with so many new divisions going on. When I first started, I got into it was just the men and the women in bodybuilding. Then fitness came along. Figure came on a little bit after that.
Mhm.
Bikini was brought in. Then here comes physique. Figure and there's wellness. This is a very popular division. And then
Yes.
I know it fits to your girl that's what she got her Olympic qualification. Fit model, excuse me. I mean, I have nothing against. I met a lady who just got a pro card at Fit Model when I was at Tampa. Her name is Amy. I met her there at the. She was competing there at the for the regional at the Tim Gardner extravaganza. We met. We said cool. I pick on her, about it. She picks on me. I respect what you guys do, but I'm not so much a big fan of the division. I feel like you're bringing in something that's going to end up evolving, looking like the division is supposed to be rebooting. Like you look at physique now, like there was a big controversy with Sarah Bradley when she won Optima, about a month or so ago, and now she's stepping away from physique and going to women's bodybuilding. If you even look at some of the women in the division, like I met Sharonka Hinton, she looks like she's truly a criteria winning physique. But then you see some other women that are competing physique that should maybe go up to women's bodybuilding, or figure competitors should go up to physique. And you even seen, some women in even wellness that can probably do either one of those divisions.
Right. That's true. Yes, I know it's involved. And it's hard to say I agree with some of the criteria. Just keeps evolving because you have girls that maybe don't want to. I love muscle, but I'm saying it's hard for us to put muscle on, and so we have to take years and years and years and years, and there's kind of like a fine line. It's like are we staying in the criteria? If you really think about it, because I mean, look how much figures evolved, in the past 5 years. And I love muscle. I'm all for the girls getting, putting tons of muscle on, but it's for some of us, it's like, do we want to risk losing the feminine part of it? Let's be honest, or in the drugs that some have to take to get there, but I don't know, I know that's not up to me to make the decision, but my opinion, I can't say I agree 100%, with how the criteria. I feel like it's bigger, and I see it now in more divisions. Even I was looking at Fit Model, and I'm like, the girls had, vascular abs. I didn't think that was a criteria in Fit Model. Some of these girls were so lean, so I don't know. It's like, it's hard sometimes to figure out where to stay in the criteria, that's why I tell myself just focus on, and Sid always told me this when I would talk to her about it. She would say, don't focus just chasing mass. She was like, just focus on building muscle in the right areas on your physique, that helps balance your physique, because you don't want to have so much muscle and figure in your legs and not upper, because it's more of a balance, and so, and keep your waist tight. That's huge. Well, any division, because everything looks bigger with a smaller waist. But yeah, I try to keep that in mind. So
Yeah, like if you look at, I've seen ladies right now. I just saw a show a while back where one woman, she was competing figure, but her waist was too wide, and
yeah,
one lady who just did a show in figures now make move over to women's physique.
yeah,
Um, and with y'all girls in figure, which I'm really learning, because I really started getting to figure a little bit more, because most of my content was about women's bodybuilding, but then women's physique and figure. I've done interviews with ladies in bikini, ladies in fitness, a couple of fit model competitors, and but it's a division where you have to have that nice round boulder shoulders, the small
yes,
tapered waist. You want nice feathering quads. You don't want quads too big, like a nice in between where you're like a smaller physique competitor, but you have more of I would say more of a bikini look in a way, you
hmm
say.
yes, and beautiful lines, the condition, just, and to me, I look at some of these girls and it's amazing, like just seeing how the lines are so beautiful, like in their legs and dug out hamstrings, and like, yeah, I think, to me that's just, when I'm looking at figure, I'm thinking balance, like shape, like you were saying, the shoulders capped, the tiny waist, the quads not being as big as wellness or bodybuilding, right? Or even women's physique, but more of just bringing those pretty lines and having, a good enough quad sweep, but yeah, keeping the condition on check and balance. I
Mhm.
think that's the key. And some of us women, putting on muscle, it could be hard because you don't want your waist to,
Expand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And also think it's important about femininity, because you want to look still presentable. This thing about, especially when you compete, you want to walk that fine line of muscularity and femininity. You want to still have the overall look of that the shredded goddess, but still want to be like, I'm a beautiful goddess. I'm a beauty
There you
queen
go.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a fine line, and this is where, like, when I post stuff, especially on my social media, I have guys making comments. Now, I have two sides. I have the guys who are very complimentary, who are very pleasant about it, and I have the jackasses and weirdos. I just posted an interview. A lady who I interviewed, her name is Crystal. Crystal just competed at Texas just about a week ago, and she had a situation where she was coming home. She lives in Vegas. She was coming back home. Some guy approached her. And Crystal's not that big of a woman. She's a small, petite lady. She was overweight at one point in her life. She's a mother. She used to be a school teacher. She retired. And she had someone to approach her and make comments to her. I remember interviewing a lady who got her pro card last year. And, before she got a pro card, she told me how it's the same thing. Have you ever experienced that experience with somebody where they're like, you have that one guy saying, wow, you're buff. The other guy says, why are you trying to be like a man? You got all those muscles and
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've had both. So, and usually the men that say that are usually small. They
Okay,
don't
like this.
have a lot. It's like, are you just jealous because you don't have the muscle? Is what I want to tell them. But oh, I'll be in the store, honey, and I've seen people behind me like whispering, like, and usually I get it from more women, like older women, especially like when you're close to contest, your face is real sunk in, you're depleted, you look insane, right? And they're like you feel like they look at you like you're from another planet. Like I swear, like Terry could, I'm sure she talked about, like, it's insane. Like, it's like, well, what if we turn the tables and I'm staring at you and whispering about you, regardless if say they're in shape or out of shape. Like, I feel like, this is hard work, what we do. Like, you know, they just think, like you said earlier, you take a pill and you have a ton of muscle, you're shredded to the bone, but that's not the case. Like, you have to eat your meals, you have to train your tail off, you get a lot of disrespect, you know, and from outside sources. And I just learned, you know, you have to ignore that. And I'm sure the more I'm on social media, which I'm not very, I need to be more active on social media, but you'll get comments that'll come. You know, I've had that too. Like, you know, just, I'm like, they're keyboard warriors. So they're not going to, you know, it's just, you have to tone it out, you know? But
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be guys who never probably brushed the grape. And,
yeah,
and I understand older women, especially like, honey, I don't know, is she on crack or something? Because she looks so thin. I don't know,
that's
And I think the thing is, this is not about you. This is not about them. This is about you. This is something that you
right,
found to do. This is your passion. And
right,
I know with family and friends, like they can be supportive, but also like traditionally. Especially your mother say, baby, I don't want you to be so buff you can't find a man. And then your daddy saying, like, dollar, I don't want you to be so big and bad that, all right, you already got a brother, I don't need another son. That's and also friends, because you're doing something that sometimes your lifetime changes because you can't go out and go party. Like I know, like, hey, you got your pro card, let's go party. Say, no, I gotta go to bed. It's time for the rest. I gotta get up in the morning. I gotta do training. Because things change because you get into this sport. It change how you move, how you walk, how you live, how you behave.
yes, very true. Would you mind if I grab my charger? For some reason, my computer battery went from 50%, and now look up and it's at 6%. So I don't want to.
Go ahead, because that's why it's best always because I have mine
So
charged whenever I'm sitting here because it don't take
I,
long.
I may have to move the computer right here at the bar stool. Would that be a big deal?
That's not a problem. We
I'm
can sit here.
sorry.
So,
I'm sorry,
so
babe.
that's no apologies, man. Just take to do what you need to do. So, folks, she's gonna give us a minute. She's gonna be moving the computer and be all right. Folks, again, if you want to check her out and follow her channel, it's her IG's in the link in the description. And go ahead, because I'm sitting here and talk for a little bit,
Okay.
give you time. So, as you know, this weekend is Chicago Pro. As you know, they're not gonna have women's bodybuilding in the open. The way they have the Masters. Just saw that they updated the list for the Masters. We do have 2 women competing. One lady's competing both the 40 and 45 person who's gonna get her Olympic qualification. Another lady's competing for in 50 and 55. That's the lady who I've interviewed before, my dear friend in love, Miss Shayma Shaka. This is Shayma's return to competitive bodybuilding. She hasn't seen her compete since I think 2023. As you know, she focuses as a wrestler. I also a couple ladies one lady I got to meet also when I was in Tampa, Alex Blankenship. Blankenship. She's going to be competing in 40 plus, where I get her Masters Olympic qualification. Shout out to our dear friend Donna Jones. She's also competing in both most Masters and Open. Yesterday was Donna's birthday. Happy birthday to Donna. So are you ready? Okay. So back to subject again at hand. That's the thing about bodybuilding. You do this for yourself. You don't do it for anybody else. And I say this about this sport, especially for the women, it's a lot tougher because, for women, you have to walk a fine line of masculinity and femininity. And this sport can be a lot, especially mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. Like
Yes.
getting ready for a show, you have to show day for your man, for Gator. All you have to do, put on a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts. That's it. Slap on some tan,
Absolutely.
clean his beard up a little bit, put a little stuff in his head. He has expensive in prep. Men do have expenses doing prep, but show day is a day where your ladies have to have your hair, your makeup done, your posing suits, your tan. You got to spray on like that glue to keep the suit from riding up. I mean, it's
And our hair and
just
makeup has to be on point, like, because your appearance, you're getting judged on your overall look, so that's important. Like, you spend the money on hair, makeup, and your tan. It's so much more for women. You're right. Like, so much more details,
yeah,
but
yeah. And show day look haggard and tired, but then when you sit in that makeup and chair, you look like
I know stage makeup is like, it's a lot.
yeah,
Oh,
like,
wow.
it changes. But that's the thing of this is why I think some ladies love this passion of it. They love it's like be a little girl. If you ever been like knew a couple ladies who started out doing the pageant stuff, and it's just for them, it's just being like a pageant queen. You know, you get up on
Yeah.
the stage, but people got to understand that the work you got to get there. It's not easy to be disciplined, be consistent. Like, what's feel like the things that help you in your process?
So I will say this. I'm a very routine person. So having my day start off very routine, like, you know, organized, being more organized. Even if it's with the nutrition is, I tell people the hardest, right? And you need to make sure to have the food prepared at home. Like we have a guy that does all our meal prep. And so he does all of the protein frozen for us, like our fish or chicken or beef. We just thaw it out. So it's so convenient. Lee Street Meals, I'm going to give a shout out to Zach Holt. He's amazing. He's in Athens, Alabama. Well, Rogersville, Alabama. He's a member at Gator Fitness. He also competes. So be on the lookout for him. So having that prepared, I always say, like, you always want to set yourself up. You don't want to set yourself up for failure, right? So be prepared. Have your meals at home. Have your groceries at home where you don't just get up in the morning, you don't have food, you have to go to the fast food, McDonald's or, and grab breakfast or something and start your day off kind of bad, right? Like with the food. So I think just, staying organized more on top, being more on a schedule. So I get up every morning, I do my cardio. We have a treadmill at home. I think that's important. If you're competing, get some cardio machines at home where you don't have to, time is, is valuable, right? Especially if you're working. We have businesses and we're very busy. So get up in the morning, you got your cardio at home. Then you got, that done. You don't have to go to the gym, come back, eat, go back to the gym, So there's a lot of people that would go to the gym 3 or 4 times a day, just get cardio and training. And that's just a lot, isn't it? Like, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, I would say that, and if you have a significant other, it's important to like Gator does this, so he understands it. So he also helps with that too, like making sure everything's prepared. And, it would be very hard, I think, if I didn't have somebody that did understand it, it just makes it a little bit easier, not saying that it doesn't work, but, him eating healthy and not having junk in the house, so, cookies and stuff around, it does help. But.
Yeah, because that's the thing about food. It can be both a tool and a weapon of progress for a bodybuilder. The right foods help you grow. The wrong foods can stunt your growth. And and one thing I'm a fat man. I love food. I just the other day I had a health assessment because I have insurance where it come out every so often, check on me. When I started this, I was nearly 500 pounds because taking care of my mom, food was it was a stress. Food was very a comfort for me. And then after she passed, I said, you know what, I got to take care of me. So I was going down. I was doing good one time. I had a little setback because I wasn't drinking enough fluids. I had a dehydration situation. But last time I went to my doctor, I was at 420. When the nurse weighed me, I'm at 412. And that is awesome. I mean, I'm not going to be perfect because,
Congrats.
there's some things that,
like,
yeah.
Wow.
And
good for you, though. That's awesome.
Yeah, because my conversations with you ladies, I learned things. I'm not gonna be perfect because I do falter because there's some things, ma'am, that it's just hard to deny, especially if you like something sweet and so. Like, I'm gonna ask you this, the lovely Miss Hollie, and my other guy will ask you.
Let me tell you, sweetie, I'm from the South, so I like to eat.
Yeah. So Miss Hollie, tell me, especially after that last show, after the Nationals. After the GNATs. What was that thing that was calling you? That thing that make you stranger, but make you stronger.
What was that? Say that again. I'm sorry. It was funny.
What was that thing that you really wanted, especially after Nationals?
Oh man, something sweet. Actually, this is crazy. So, I never thought my metabolism, was fast. Like, I always thought I had a slower metabolism, and ever since I've been with Dave Palumbo, he has figured out my metabolism. If I told you how much food I was eating leading up to the show, you'd probably be like, oh my Lord, how in the world is that girl eating that? Like, we were leaving for Chattanooga, and he was like, you look flat, go eat pancakes. And I said, well, how many pancakes? He said, as many as you want. So, and I was having a burger fry like every other day to keep me full. It was wild this year. And last year I ate a lot too, but this year it was insane. So I really wasn't, this is crazy. Like I was eating so much food, like after the show, I wasn't really hungry. Terry went out to dinner with us. We went to the Mexican restaurant and had grilled chicken and rice, which I felt like was somewhat healthy. The chips, no. But I wanted ice cream and like a cookie, like something sweet, because I haven't had that, Yeah, it's interesting how you find a coach that can learn your metabolism. It's wild, and to me, the science is incredible, like how the body works and how it can respond, because everybody's different. Some people have to have zero carb, leading up to the show, and don't get me wrong. I did days where, I had no carbs. I was like protein, fat, I think, at the first you have to, when you first start dieting or cutting, it's a grind. It's a grind throughout the entire prep. But at first you got to get in the routine, right? So I would do like 3 days, no carb, 1 day carb. So I wasn't eating a lot of carbs, but he was having to refeed me, to keep me more full towards the end. But yeah, I would say cookies, ice cream, anything sweet.
Yeah. So when did you get to meet Dave? Because I know he works with both you and Terry.
So Gator got his pro card with Dave at North American back in 2018 in the Masters. And then last year, I was like, I didn't have a coach. And I was like, I don't know if I want a coach, because you can go through a lot of coaches. And I've only ever had one coach. Two. And so I'm like, and I've only done 4 shows, but like I wanted to stay as an athlete with a coach, because he learns your body, or she learns your body, and it's good to stay with a coach, not just kind of bounce around. I know sometimes you have to make the decision for yourself and whatever's best for you, but Gator's known Dave for a long time. And so he's more of a personal friend to me too, as well. Like he'll be at Tampa with us. He's gonna come hang out. And I got Terry. I referred Dave to Terry for her to use Dave too, because he was really good with me. And I'm thinking, okay, so I felt comfortable with him, and I know she would too. And he's been really good she looks awesome. Like it's really benefited her using Dave. I know he's old school, and he's in kind of the podcast world, and so, but he's been a really good coach for me, and I think Terry would feel the same way if you ask her. Like, I know she would, but yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing. It's good to have a relationship with your coach, because a while back I had a discussion where we talked about how sometimes coaches can be too much into the client's life, maybe starting relationships, or, I remember a while back I reached out to a lady about doing an interview, and she told me, oh, let me talk to my coach. I'm like, this is about you. This is not so much. Why do you need to talk to your coach? This is just me and you talking. I mean,
right.
We'll talk about the guy, but he's not, and I interviewed one lady, her boyfriend's a coach, and he sat in the interview for a bit. He talked and, gives all the way they're doing, what they're working with. And that's a good relationship.
Right.
If you both have a mutual love, respect for each other, and understand what is you want to bring as her the athlete. But yeah, the good coach is pretty good. Dave, I've often, like I said again, my friend Keith worked with him a bit some time ago when he was getting his pro card. And he's been in sport for a long time. I told Terry, I don't know if she sent it to you. There's a video of him. He was on Conan O'Brien years ago, and he's dressed like the Hulk. He says, "Hulk search for love. Hulk need love." Says Hulk
That
makes
is
love
funny.
angry. You seen it?
I don't think I've seen it.
If I can find it, I'll send it to you.
That is so funny.
It's funny. I saw it because I'm on YouTube, I'm on IG a lot, and it popped my algorithm because he was sponsoring his species, because I know y'all also promote his species products too.
We do sell his products in our gym, and they're lime green, and our color is lime green, so it's perfect. Like I love his product. I'm very I know he's my coach, and not just because of that, but I would take his product. Actually, I've been taking his product before he coached me. So I always used like his Fiberlize, and a lot of his Isolyze, the protein powders. It's really good ingredients. It's not a lot of additives in there, I digest it well, Now, it's not for everybody, I know, but I always say just give it a try.